Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you to you all for being here. In Tennessee, this has been an issue where there's been a lot of conversation about it. And Mr. Berthold, thank you for your time yesterday to talk about this. As I told you, we've got a lot of people that are very unhappy with the way some of this has been approached. And there is frustration. We talked yesterday about the bots and how they impact Ticketmaster's operations, and you have blamed bot attacks on causing the crash during the Taylor Swift ticket sales, and ticket vendors seem to view bot attacks as normal to their operations. And Chair Durbin had mentioned, and of course we all know the Bots Act is something when I was in the House that got passed, signed into law. Senator Schumer had carried that over in the Senate. The FTC has only enforced this once, and they've had the authority to do this since 2016. So this is an unacceptable situation. Senator Blumenthal and I are going to do some more work on this at the Commerce Committee, at the Consumer Protection Subcommittee. But I do have a couple of questions. I've got about 4 questions, Mr. Berthold, and I want to move quickly through this, so don't try to just run the clock out on me, which I don't appreciate that. So the data that you collect. Now, there's a 2019 report that showed that Ticketmaster's app has more downloads and more active users than any of its competitors. And I bet if I went down, everybody would shake their head yes, that is correct. And you have the most monthly active user growth that anyone is seeing. So, and I want you to submit the answers to this to me in writing. But let's take the Orange Bowl app, which I downloaded last month, taking my grandsons to the Orange Bowl. Go Vols, a big win there. That app is powered by Ticketmaster. Now, when you use that app, you can purchase parking, official merchandise, access travel sites. So you are getting a lot of consumer data and consumer information. So I want to know, what are you doing with that data? Now, you told me yesterday you block about 90% of the bot attacks that you get, but that's a failing grade. And we know that because, and there ought to be people you can get some good advice from, because our critical infrastructure in this country, whether it is utilities, electric, water, power, banking services, credit card processors, payment processors, healthcare companies, you know what? They get bot attacks every single day by the thousands. By the thousands. And they have figured it out, but you guys haven't. This is unbelievable. You ought to be able to get some good advice from some people and figure this out. So what are you doing with the information? As you get this bot attacks, are they coming in here and scooping up consumer information? When consumers buy tickets from StubHub and they're required to return to Ticketmaster to have their order fulfilled, are you getting their data? And what are you doing with it? Are you then sharing it with these other vendors? What kind of protections are around it? How are you safeguarding this? So I would like a response to that in writing from you, because that is going to determine how we move forward. The FTC has the responsibility. They have the authority, but you, sir, are responsible to the consumers. You're controlling 70%, 80% of the ability of consumers to access tickets to sporting events, to concerts. And when I run into an entertainer, and Mr. Lawrence, you need to come to Nashville.
We've been there. We just played a couple months ago.
Come on back. Make it your home.
Sure thing.
People love Tennessee. But, you know, we need to have an answer to this. Yes, the FTC has the authority. Yes, the legislation was signed into law. I agree that they are not exercising it. But how many times have you called the FTC and said, we need your help?
Yes, Senator. We will submit in writing the answers to your questions that you requested.
How many times have you called the FTC and say, help me with this?
We worked with the FTC on an investigation. I believe it was late 2019 or 2020. We obviously during COVID
So you called them
shut
once?
down.
You called them once and said, help me out?
That was the time that we were able to have the information, work with them to get prosecution.
Why is it that you cannot identify a bot attack? You told me yesterday you have a hard time distinguishing between a bot attack and a consumer. But the local power company down here that is not the billion-dollar company you are, they can tell when they've got a bad actor in their system. They figured out how to define a bot in their system, but you can't? Do we need to make certain you have better people around your IT team?
Yes, Senator, it is absolutely an ever-going arms race in terms of fighting the bots. These are bots that are not trying to generally break into our system. They're bots that are trying to impersonate people to get tickets on an automated basis faster and putting true fans at a disadvantage.
It is American consumers, true fans, yes, American consumers. Madam Chairman, I have one other question if we do a second round.
Okay, that'll be good. We will do a second round because we also